Zombies! Where has it gone? Because I feel like it's gone. The community is dying, the games are getting worse, and overall everything's going downhill. And you know what? I'm just going to be ranting to you about what I think went wrong, what's going wrong, what we need to fix, what Activision needs to do, because I think it's a very serious matter, at least for a lot of the hardcore fans that love zombies. So this might be a lot out of order, but I'm just going to throw my ideas at you on what I think is going wrong. So I guess we can start at the base of things. Where was the community at its best? And I think for me, it was in the middle of Black Ops 3. Now, I know a lot of other people will say, oh, well, it was actually in Cold War because it had a bigger fan base, or oh, it was actually in Black Ops 2 because the maps were better. But I think the community really thrived during Black Ops 3, especially with, the Z House and just the amount of good content that was coming out for zombies, because we don't get that anymore at all. And you know what? It's sad because I do like to see some zombies content that's actually good and actually comes from Treyarch. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, whoa, you don't like the custom maps? No, I love the custom maps. Of course I love the custom maps, but I got to be honest with you, it's not the same when your own game isn't producing that content. And you know what? It's sad. Treyarch and Activision have really let themselves go when it comes to zombies, at least. And what I mean by that is they're not producing the content that they used to do. And you know what? We need to make them do that. Turn over the good zombies maps, Activision. I know you got them. We used to get Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 3, and now we get Modern Warfare 3 and Vanguard. And well, a lot of people will say, oh, well, Vanguard actually wasn't that bad. When you look at it from an overall perspective, yeah, it was really bad. Now, with Black Ops 3, sure, there were some people who hated it. Some people disliked the campaign. I mean, I wasn't too fond of the campaign either, but I really enjoyed multiplayer and really enjoyed zombies a lot. Now, the thing with the older games that's different than the new games is that the older games, everybody typically liked it. I mean, there was some people who hated it, but the majority of people seem to like it. And I feel like now it's the opposite way around. Some people like it, but the majority of people don't like it. And that needs to change if we want a successful future for Call of Duty overall. Now, I'm not really a multiplayer guy, but I have dabbled in some multiplayer over the years. I enjoy it, but I think it is going downhill a little bit slower than zombies is, at least. With multiplayer, it's different because every new game, everybody buys it, everybody plays multiplayer, right? And yeah, well, the maps may not be good or the meta's not as good as the other game. Usually that life cycle stays on until the next game. At that next game, people either go back to the one before it, or they buy the new version and start playing that. But with zombies, it's not like that. Zombies, you love a game, and if there's something bad about the next game, you're not going to purchase that game. You're going to go back and play the old one. That was true with me. Now, I loved Black Ops 3. I got into it a little bit later, around 2019, which is, 4 years after its life cycle, but it was so good to me. And that's crazy to me to think because, in 2015, that would be even better for me. The graphics were at the best point they've ever been. Everything's just there. Everything's so good in 2015, at least. As for 2019, the Black Ops 3 graphics were not as good compared to other games. Regardless, though, I still feel like they were the best we've ever had, which is weird to say, but it kind of makes sense, and I'll walk you through it. So the Black Ops 3 engine just ran smoothly. There was no buffers, no lag, no entity cramming that will just freeze your PC. It just ran smoothly. It was all good until you got to Black Ops 4, where that I feel like kind of went downhill pretty fast. Now, obviously, with every game, there will be blue screens and other crashes, but I'm talking about the game in general. I've almost never had a problem with Black Ops 3. When you get to Cold War and when you get to Black Ops 4, yeah, I can see that the game starts crashing. There's more lag, there's more frame drops, there's just a lot more stuff that's going on. And I feel like with the minimalist feel in Black Ops 3, that's where we should be. Well, yes, Black Ops 4 did upgrade its engine to look better. They didn't make it look better. The HUD was cluttered. Everything was crammed. You couldn't see. There was cartoon mode for some reason. It was all over the place. With Black Ops 3, it was straightforward. Here's the game. Here's how you play. Here's a minimal HUD, maybe some ammo on the right, a round on the left, your perks. Boom, done. With Black Ops 4, it was, here are your perks in the middle. Here's your elixirs up there. Here's your round number. Where they even put it? Up the top right. Why would they do that? I don't know. With Cold War, at least it returned to pretty good. Yeah, they had the perks in the middle, but everything was pretty good. The HUD looked cleaner, but still kind of cluttered. And especially with the engine, let me just say, Black Ops 3's engine ran better than any Call of Duty I've ever played. Just the smoothness with running and sliding and wall running was way better than Black Ops 4 or Cold Wars, where Cold Wars you seemed fast, yes, but it was also slow in a weird way. In Black Ops 4, you were just slow. There's no way around that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Activision really poured a lot of resources into Black Ops 3, and it is still one of the cleanest and best running games to date. But anyways, aside from the engine, Black Ops 3 just did zombies right. At least with Black Ops 4, you know, there was still a community there. Activision still tried to put in some content for Black Ops 4. You know, they had 4 launch maps, which is better than Black Ops 3's, which I believe only had 2, the Giant and Shadows of Evil. But the Giant was locked behind a paywall, which, you know, some people couldn't really afford back then, especially for a $60 game. But, and this is gonna surprise some people, and maybe make some people angry, we need to go back to having paid DLCs. Yeah, you heard me. Why? Why would we go back to paying for DLCs instead of just having them free? Why? Why would we do that? And I'll tell you why. Now, paid DLCs. Let's just go to Black Ops 3, right? We have the Reisendrak, one of the best zombies maps of all time, right? We have Zetsubo no Shima, a pretty solid zombies map. I mean, one of my favorites of all time, but, you know, people tend to like it now more than they did back then, but it's still a very solid zombies map. We have Garad Krovi, another one of the best zombies maps of all time. I mean, Revelations, that brought so many casual players to Black Ops 3. And then, after the life cycle, we had Zombies Chronicles. Oh my god, that is the perfect life cycle of any game I've ever heard. For Black Ops 4, on the other hand, yes, we started with 4 launch maps, but the other maps weren't as good, and yeah, well, some of them were good, like Ancient Evil and, in my opinion, Tagged or Totem. Most of them weren't good, but you still had to pay for the DLC, and I feel like that made the maps better. If they were free, Treyarch and Activision wouldn't have tried. There wouldn't be so much to do on Dead of the Night, or there wouldn't be the beauty that we have on Tagged or Totem. Like, they actually tried, even though they weren't the best of maps. And we need that back. With Cold War, everything's free. So why put your resources into something that's free? They bought the game. Focus on COD points now, because that's the only source of revenue that you're getting from that player. And with Black Ops 3, you're getting map DLCs, you know, gobblegums, elixirs, and don't get me wrong here, they did a lot of microtransactions, but they still tried putting content for them. And now we get Nicki Minaj in a freaking World War II setting. Like, it doesn't work. With them directing more resources towards the actual DLCs, the game cycle will live on. People will actually play, people will become fans of that game and that studio, and that's something Activision really needs right now. Especially with all the controversies that I won't name, they need reputation. And they're not gonna get that by putting Snoop Dogg into the game. They're gonna do that by putting good quality experiences into the game, and that's where we're lacking right now. With Modern Warfare 3, everyone was hyped. There's zombies on Modern Warfare 3, you know? Like, even, I know, Mr. Waffle Waffles, he was telling people to buy it. You know, Lex was like, damn, this zombies is actually pretty good. But that was only the start. You can't launch with a good experience and then add nothing later and expect the people to still stay by that. And that brings me to my next point. Activision likes the first day revenue. And you go, well, what is that? And I'll tell you. First day revenue, that's putting the game out, people buying it just for that first experience, just for that wow factor of, oh my god, I'm back on Modern Warfare 3. This is cool. And then they just give up. They focus on their next game. They focus on something else. They just don't care about the community. They focus on multiplayer. They just direct all of their resources over to zombies and then forget about zombies. It's just, it's so bad. I mean, the roadmap for Season 2 of Modern Warfare 3 is like 3 zombies, guns, and like a new mini boss fight. And that's not a zombies experience. We need content, not just bosses. With Black Ops 3, because we were paying $15, the devs were like, all right, we want to make this $15 worth it. We want the people to actually buy this and actually play it because there's a paywall. We want that money. And yeah, well, money's not a bad thing when it comes to video games if they're doing it correctly. And on Black Ops 3, obviously they were. People bought the DLCs, people liked the DLCs, they kept making it, and people bought more. They wanted more. But now, Activision raises the price of their base game to $70 so that they don't have to do that. They don't have to put that good content out because you already bought a game for $70. And yes, while I admit on Black Ops 3. If there was a Snoop Dogg skin, I would probably buy it. However, that being the main source of revenue for Activision doesn't work out for anybody. Having paid DLCs really just makes the game come together and people actually appreciate, what they're putting out. And Activision actually tries to put something out, and so does Treyarch. Like, it works together in a way that you wouldn't think, especially because now they're free. You're like, oh, well, this is great. But in reality, it's not compared to the ones that we would be getting if there was a paywall. But now we have to talk about the Zombies community. And this is kind of the turning point of this whole argument, because it's not so much about the big companies, it's about the community as a whole. And while we've done a pretty good job of sticking together, I'd say, in these current years and the content that's coming out at least, we need to do better. And I mean for everybody. Even longtime Zombies YouTubers are starting to drop off, their views are starting to go down, their passion for Zombies, I can tell by watching, is just down. And if their passion was still high, I feel like the Zombies community would be together still. We'd be one. And I'm not saying we need a Kickstarter, but I'm saying we need a Kickstarter. So a big community Zombies event that's live streamed, that's broadcasted, that's, not ZWC3, although I did like it, but we need something bigger that combines everything with everyone. And now I'm not dissing on ZWC3. I loved it. I love ZWC. It brings the community together, but we need something that'll keep the community together. We need glue. We need a competition. We need every person, every Zombies player, longtime player, new players, we need everybody to get together for an event that'll keep the Zombies community fresh. It'll bring new content in. It'll just refresh everybody. And now I don't know how we're going to do that, but I'm just throwing this idea out there. We need something that will bring everyone together. And while this might not be the brightest ideas, in my opinion, we need a competition of sorts. We need a prize pool, but anybody can join. So it's not just restricted to, the best of the best players. We can also just have fun competitions here and there, or just pick random winners out. We just need something that can kickstart the Zombies community back up. Because right now, and I know you can probably tell, on YouTube, I'd rather watch other things than Zombies, at least. And you know what? That's fine, You're allowed to have different tastes in, other video games. I'm not just saying stick to Call of Duty, but what I am saying is the reason I'm not, at least, so much involved with Zombies anymore is just because it's going downhill, and I can tell. Now, I do think that with the new, Transit Remastered and Die Rise Remastered, that will kickstart the Zombies community, but how long will that stay? And that's my fear. These developers are pouring their hearts out for free, basically. I mean, yes, I know you can support them so they keep making their maps, but they're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts to give back to the community, because that's the good thing to do. And these people are just coming in and saying, well, you know what? Transit was a bad map. Everybody knows that, but you know what? They actually take the initiative to remaster it and make it to a better map. And Die Rise, one of the worst maps of all time. Let's make it better, Let's bring it on to Black Ops 3 so everybody can play. But how long will they play for? And, we've seen it with Call of the Dead Remastered. A lot of people played at the beginning, but now not so many people play anymore. There's still a kind of large fan base for the Black Ops 3 version, but I don't see a lot of people making videos about it or, making other commentary videos and Call of the Dead Remasters in the background. Yes, it's a great map, don't get me wrong, but it's just, I guess nobody wants to play it. I don't know. It's just a thought of mine that we need to bring the community back together. We need to have ideas floating around. We just need new Zombies. We need something good for Zombies instead of all this trash content that we've been getting for years. And people keep saying, yeah, well, next year it's going to get better. Call of Duty Gulf War, their Zombies is going to be great. Is it though? Is it going to be great? Because, I think Treyarch really doesn't care. So in my opinion, we just need something that'll bring us all together again. And I know this video was a very, probably just out of order, random, kind of sporadic video, but you know what? I just thought I'd voice my opinion on a couple things that I think the Zombies community is definitely lacking. And in my opinion, we need to do better. And it's not just us, obviously. We're still doing fine, but it's also Treyarch and Activision. They don't care about us anymore. They care about only the money. Whereas, Jason Blundell really cared about the fan base. Everything just, they cared for us, and now it's just, oh, here's your game, here's your one shot of good Zombies content, and then they're gone. But overall, I do have to say it's everything together, We can't just be saying, oh, this content is so terrible, don't play this. yes, well, I agree that you can have your opinion on a game. Overall, it hurts the zombies community. Because then people are like, well, this thing happened last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, so why do we even care about zombies anymore? What's the point of playing zombies? What's the point of being involved in the community? But if we had more people making zombies content and actually enjoying what they do, you know what? We might just have a stronger community. I just hope this video kind of shine light on the whole problem that the zombie community is having right now, and kind of just my opinion on what we need to do going forward. But yeah, I mean, thank you guys for watching and listening to my ranting for however long this video took. I really appreciate it. Hope that that going forward we can change something, but I don't know. It's up to us really. So let's do better. All right, Thanks, Lab out.